Yes, you lovely people, if you're not already, make sure you give us a follow over on Spotify. I honestly think that was the best game of football I've been to. All encapsulating. I'm talking about everything. The whole kind of getting there, arriving, getting into the stadium, sitting there, watching the game, cheering, jumping around. Hello everybody, welcome to the Fozcast. We have decided to do a very impromptu podcast because the England Lionesses roared to victory last night. It is the morning after the night before and we are European champions. So we thought we would do a nice little podcast, like an homage to the girls, because we went to the game last night, didn't we, Tom? And it was absolutely world class, wasn't it?
It was up there with one of the best football games I've ever been to.
I think it was, for me personally, I think it was the best game I've been to for everything involved in it.
I think if you look at all of it, I couldn't agree. I couldn't disagree, sorry.
The atmosphere, how good was the atmosphere?
It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. And I think what we wanted to do today was do a podcast to, like you say, pay homage to the girls, but then look at what comes now.
Yeah, the legacy from it all.
Yeah, the legacy and all the bits and bobs in between. So, yeah, we were there last night. We were very fortunate that our good friends at Spotify and Pepsi managed to hook us up. So thank you. So
let's go chronological order, okay? Let's break it down. So yeah, we got some lovely tickets, didn't we? We got some really really nice tickets. So I'm gonna try and draw a little bit of a comparison to the men's Euro final, which I went to last year. Okay, I took my son Louis to it last year. I actually took him last night as well. So the men's final last year, it was a massive hassle trying to get some tickets. Really hard work trying to get some tickets. Eventually we got them. It was a bit last minute, but from the very moment me and Louis arrived at the stadium last year, you could just sense it was a little bit. Yeah, there was an atmosphere.
It was on top, weren't it? You said it was.
Yeah. There was a bit of needle. There was something. And you could sense there was like a desperation in the air. And that became ever so more evident as soon as you got closer to Wembley. There was broken bottles everywhere. There was drunk people everywhere. People trying to run through barricades. It was a nightmare. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is how seamless it was last night, yeah? It
was seamless, but also, like you said, the atmosphere. And we'll talk about the comparisons with the men's game later because it's not always a good thing. But at times, I can see why people do it. With the atmosphere, we spoke about it in the fact that sometimes, whether you like it or not, you might go to a derby match, you might go to an England match. I don't know if other people are the same as me and you, but you always have like a bit of a sense of like almost like anxiety, or if you're with your kids, you feel like you're kind of looking over your shoulder a bit.
Especially when you're with the kids.
Yeah, where are the opposition fans? Depending what stadium you go to, it can be a little bit. It can be a little bit aggy. One thing I noticed last night was how incredibly relaxed I felt.
Yeah, we were walking past Germany fans, yeah? We were literally walking, and it wasn't even a thing. No. Like, it's not like anybody would make a remark or a comment to say, what are they doing here? They should be in their own zone or anything like that. Yeah. There were Germany fans mingling in amongst the England supporters. Yeah. They were actually sat next to it. We had a little group in front of us where we were. And it wasn't a thing, was it? Like, we walked through. I actually went and bought one of those bucket hats. Absolutely love it as well. Proper unofficial English knockoff bucket hat.
You're a knockoff Aaron Ramsdale, mate.
Heck yes, I am. Yeah, I was channeling my inner Aaron Ramsdale last night. I looked $1 million, but I buzzed off it. My son Louis actually took it off me, and he wanted it. Like, he loves it. Honestly, it's class. Cost me 15 quid, but it was 15 quid well spent. Straight to where we needed to go, from getting out the car to walking to where our tickets needed to be scanned. 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was very slick. The whole process was very, very slick. But I think the thing that got me is the family element, because you look at the people in attendance, and there was obviously a lot of families, a lot of kids, young girls, and young lads. Yeah. It was just a really mixed atmosphere. I think it reminded me more of a rugby game.
Yeah, for sure. I've only been to a couple of rugby matches, but it is very much that feel of, you just know you've got nothing to worry about. Yeah. Yeah, it's safe. And I think that's the beauty of it. When there's so many more kids. Like I say, I took my son last year to the England final, and he was a little bit wary about coming to this game, because he got to see it last year. And like I say, it was not a nice place, especially at full time. I remember walking out with Louis and thinking, I'm not fully safe here, Yeah. Grown men in the street who were drunk were trying to shoulder barge me. Honestly, we were leaving the stadium, and there was a couple groups of grown men who were looking for a fight. They were looking for a fight, and if I'm not moving out of the way, they're shoulder barging me, and I'm holding my son's hand behind me as well. That's how bad it was. Whereas last night, none of that. It was beautiful.
It was fantastic. Everything about it was just brilliant. Now, do you think that there's a danger in the future that the women's game might attract that severe like tribalism, and it could edge towards that way?
Yeah, possibly. I think the more eyes get on it, you're gonna get a bit more sort of all sorts supporter. I would say last night in the stadium, when you go to a men's game, you can always hear going, "What you doing?" Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll get the kind of the blokes who go, "Oh, just do it, he's rub it," and all that, and they'll be swearing and there'll be this and that. I didn't hear a single swear word last night, and
No,
there were times in extra time when you could see the girls were knackered. Like both teams were knackered. Yeah, they were on their asses, honestly. But not once did I hear anybody say, "Oh, what's she doing?" Or "That's rubbish." Or "You're rubbish." There was none of that. It was quite literally get behind them, cheer them, and I think honestly that's the reason why we probably won the game ahead of Germany, because our fans, we had the majority of the fans, don't get me wrong, there was, 87,000 people there last night, a new record, by the way, which was outrageous, but I'd say probably 85-90% of them fans were English fans, and they had us all cheering them on. It was incredible.
It was, but actually one thing I did notice as well is when we lifted the trophy, the German section, the flags were flying.
It's good,
it was proper. Fair play to them. There was no booing from the German fans. They were there with their fans supporting their team to the absolute death.
Yeah, so it was class.
It was absolutely class. But when we're talking about the comparisons, this is one thing I wanted to discuss with the men's game. You're always going to get it, and it might appear like we're trashing the men's game, saying about the atmosphere and whatnot. It works both ways as well, though, because I don't think it's particularly healthy making the comparisons all of the time. I think there's times where it's required, but I think it breeds an us and them mentality. One thing I heard a bit last night, which was the women did what the men couldn't. And I don't think that helps anyone.
No, I agree. That shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be. It should be England won, and that's it. We won. Simple as that.
Onto the second half of my double.
Yeah, exactly that. You did. You made a little prediction. We had a video last week, and you've made a little prediction, a bold one at that. That we would win the men's Euros,
women's Euros.
Sorry, the women's Euros and the men's World Cup. The first part of it's done, ticked off, boxed off, boom. You didn't put an actual bet on this, by the way. You massive shithouse.
I know.
You massive shithouse. But now we've got the men's World Cup to come. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it could ever be. It doesn't need to be an us and them kind of scenario. There was something on GMTV this morning. Actually, I watched it, and they were debating whether the women's team deserve now the right to be paid as much as men. And I think what they were talking about, they wasn't talking about necessarily like Premier League wages, their club wages. They were talking about the England national team. So I think for winning the Euros, the women's team gets spread amongst themselves the best part of £2 million. It was 1.8 million pounds or something. But you got to think that's a 30 man squad, 30 lady squad. 30 strong squad of people, So break it down, you're talking sort of like 80 grand each or something like that, which is incredible. But in comparison, stark comparison as well to the men's team, if the men's team would have won the Euros, it was nearly 30 million pounds.
Wow.
Where you're talking nearly £1 million a man. And that is the bit that everyone's going, well, hold on a minute. I'm sure the sponsorship probably isn't as much as what it was for the men. However, the amount of eyes that this women's Euros has attracted, the amount of new fans, virtually every England game was sold out. Like the stadiums, they were absolutely buzzing. People watching. Like I said, I was in Portugal last week, and I was there for like best part of 3 weeks, and I got to watch the games in the pub in Portugal on Vila Moura Marina with the boys and the girls. We'd all pile in, and it was incredible, mate. The whole marina was there watching England play, and it was so nice. Like the goal would go in, and the whole marina would be bouncing, jumping up and down. And it's like, wow, this is proper. This is just like watching the men's game, because everybody's behind it.
But commercially, what we can't have is a knee-jerk reaction now and say, right, it must be parity and whatnot, because it's a process, isn't it?
Sure.
And the first thing that will change, and it has to be gradual, the first thing that will change is the commercial opportunities, the endorsement deals for the girls. Now, like you said, because of eyeballs, that's going to change overnight. Like when you start filling up stadiums and stuff, this is when longer term we're going to have to look at. Obviously, the salaries are going to start going up, and when the game is generating,
it's a gradual thing. I think that it has to be a gradual thing, and it will be a gradual thing. I mean, if you look at wages in the Premier League for the men, for example, it's getting more and more each year, and it always will be that way.
Yeah.
But the gradual quality of the Premier League has improved as well.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, when we were kids, you knew for a fact Man United were going to win on a Saturday afternoon. You knew, like, they would probably win the league. You knew then you would have 2 or 3 others that would be there or thereabouts. But then the rest, it would be kind of like, not much quality. Whereas now, you can't really predict it that much. You really can't, because the general quality of it has risen so high. And I think that's the important thing for the women's game is when the more money comes, the more sort of like the money for facilities, for better grassroots, everything, all that kind of stuff. That's where you will see a gradual increase in the quality, which will then lead to more people watching it, more people getting
through the door.
Exactly that.
But what we can't do is rush it, because at the moment, my brother and his family went to the semi-finals at Bramall Lane, and it was 40 quid.
Yeah.
So 2
per ticket.
No.
For what?
2 girls.
Yeah.
2 adults.
Tenner each.
I think it was 15 quid each for the adults.
Yeah.
5 each for the kids.
That's incredible.
Now this is what it's doing. It's recruiting. Now, if those tickets were 40 quid each, you're going up to Bramall Lane midweek, right? You're paying best part of 200 quid for the tickets, and all
your food, all your refreshments, the travel,
which
the parking.
is why it has to be gradual.
Yeah, sure.
But with the endorsement deals, we were chatting about it on the way down. You said earlier on, it's eyeballs.
Yeah.
Right now, that's what advertisers do, isn't it? So as long as the Lionesses and other players and the league are getting eyeballs, this is where in the short term they can win, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, looking at.
Look at I saw a thing on Twitter this morning as well. I screenshotted it here. Look, the prices for tickets in the Women's Super League. Like, compare these to men prices. It's ridiculous. So at Arsenal, it's £12 for an adult, £6 for a child. Villa, £10 for an adult, £7.50 for a child. Birmingham, £7 for an adult. It's literally that. Do you know what I mean? You're talking on average about £10 for an adult and about £5 for a kid. Which is that's the bit where it is so much more family
non-league
friendly.
prices.
It's family friendly. That's what it is. You can take the family out for a day. But one thing I want to say as well is these girls now, they've gone from being England players to now being household names, though.
Yeah,
you know, Beth Mead, she is like the lady. Leah Williamson is the lady.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Georgia Stanway. They're them kind of people. Mary Ertz. They're now household names. You talk to my son, my daughter, your sons, whatever it is, they know who they are now. And that's the beauty of it. So when they see a game on Tuesday night or Wednesday night and it's Arsenal against whoever or it's Chelsea against whatever, they'll know players. And that's the bit. When they've got that connection with that people, they'll want to watch the game more, won't
they? Yeah, exactly. You want to watch them. You want to see what they're like. Lucy Bronze at like Barcelona now. You've got players going out to Bayern Munich, and etc. But Gabby Logan said it last night on TV. Now it's like, right, get to the games now. It is a legacy thing. Like with the glass ceiling, we feel has been broken, and now is the time. Right now, get your ass down to the games. Okay, we've got to, because you can't let the momentum stop.
No, true that, and I think it will. I do. I really think it will. So much so, I think we will start going. We'll start taking the kids in there, because you know what the atmosphere is like. You haven't got to worry about it being a threatening anything.
Yeah,
you can take the kids. You can have a fun day out, a bit like what you would do at the rugby. Yeah, boom. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be a banging season this year, isn't it?
It is, and look what Arsenal have done. So for the Champions League, they have committed. I believe they've committed to all of the girls playing the Champions League,
all their Champions League matches now
at the Emirates.
At the Emirates, which is incredible, because I think they played the semi-finals there last year. Right. That was it though. So it's a 2-leg semi-final against Wolfsburg. I think it was the Arsenal ladies. They played the home game at the Emirates. And that's what you want to see. You know what I mean? People want to go in, try and fill the stadiums as much as they can and watch it in a proper arena. I've got to say, big shout out there to Sheffield United as well. Their stadium looked absolutely incredible.
Rocking, weren't it?
For the semi-final, it was incredible. We were watching it, like I said, we were in Portugal, watching it in the pub, and I didn't know where the game was being played. And I've got Louis and my daughter Olivia, and I had a couple of other boys with me that we were on holiday with, and they said, "Dad, where's the game being played?" And I couldn't tell. I genuinely couldn't tell. I was like, it's not Wembley, is it? It kind of looks a bit like, where is that? And we were like guessing to and fro, back and forth. Eventually, I had to get on live score, have a little look. I was like, you'll never guess. No one guessed it. Sheffield United looked absolutely banging, didn't it? What a stadium.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's very, very good. And I think one thing we wanted to address, because, like I said, the kind of what was it, like parting comments that Gabby Logan made last night were absolutely brilliant. We had Laura Woods in a couple of weeks ago, and kind of putting to task and calling out when Sir Lord Sugar made disparaging remarks.
Misogyny, basically.
Yeah. And I think now this is where the ignorant comments have got to be stopped and kind of called out, because we hear it all the time. And Laura made the comment, and someone I was with last night made the comment of, if you're not into it, that's cool.
Yeah.
But don't start throwing your weight around and making negative comments, because you wouldn't do that if you're a football fan and you don't like rugby. You just don't comment.
Exactly.
You just don't go to the games, kind of thing.
You can have your opinion. You haven't always got to voice it, yeah? You haven't always got to say what's on your mind, all right? Most of the time, nobody cares. So if it's negative, especially nobody cares. So just leave it, yeah? There is a massive wave of people that are into this and want to watch it and want to get behind it, yeah? And let them have a nice time doing it.
Yeah, and I hear it. I've heard it. Even the odd comment during the Euros, people have, and I've kind of been like, yeah, whatever. But I'll kind of proactively now, if people saying, oh, yeah, but the quality compared to, and you're like, do you know what? Take your opinion, shove it on up your ass, and do one.
Well, mate, we
no one wants to hear
saw
it
up close and personal. We did that video with Beth Mead, Jordan Nobbs, Lottie Wubbenmoy. The quality, the standard, the technique is right up there.
Yeah.
Like, they were, don't get me wrong, I'm an old goalkeeper, and I am, but they're scoring. I'm still Premier League goalkeeper. Like, do you know what I mean? At that time, I was still, and they're scoring goals past me, right, left, and centre. They're sticking it in corners.
They were good.
They were really
good.
They're absolutely proper.
Absolutely smashing the ball. But it's like when people compare. If you're a supporter of Leamington or FC United or something like that, people wouldn't go, "Why'd you go and watch that? It's shit." Well, it's not as good compared to the Premier League.
No.
And it's the same as the women's game.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It's different, yeah. But it's still absolutely top class. And we all came away, didn't we, last night? And even everybody we were with were just like, well, that was incredible. Like we said at the start of the show, I honestly think that was the best game of football I've been to. All encapsulating. I'm talking about everything. The whole kind of getting there, arriving, getting into the stadium, sitting there, watching the game, cheering, jumping around. I was sweating my tree off last night, by the way. I had that bucket hat on. I'm dancing around to friggin' 3 lines on the shirt, all that kind of stuff at full time.
Yeah.
I had the biggest dab on ever, but it was ledge.
It was, and what I felt like is we were witnessing something.
Yeah.
It was special. I mean, I took my niece. I've got 2 boys, and I got 2 tickets, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said to my brother, I'm going to take my niece, who's 12, football mad, Lily, football mad. And my brother was like, "Why don't you take your son?" And I'm like, "No, listen, it's more important."
Yeah, well, she's a big old football fan as well. She plays football.
She plays, but she follows the WSL
exactly,
as well.
Yeah.
So when like the couple of subs were made, she was saying, they're coming on for them. And this is where they're going to play. And I'm thinking, right, so you're on this. And actually, from an impact point of view, being like, I'm not being funny, but being like a white 38-year-old bloke, you've got a fairly easy, maybe.
With the reddest face in the world.
With the reddest face in the world, yeah. You kind of got it fairly easy growing up, whatnot. But when you can take a young lady to a game like that and you can see it in the flesh.
Yeah.
Mate, it was really special.
Mate,
really special.
How good was it? So the game was brilliant. Don't worry, everybody played their part. It was class. But I love it. Like even now, we're getting into it so much that when substitutions are being made and Ella Toon's coming on and Alessia Russo's getting brought on, and like Ella Toon comes on, it's like, dude,
yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
And then Alessia comes on because she's been scoring goals off the bench for fun. Like the whole stadium erupts, and it's just like, oh, this is top class, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah, so
and Nikita Paris as well. Good big shout out to her. She came on late on as well. Really nice to see her get a few minutes in the final.
Tell you who I like to see coming on. So tactically, brilliant. The substitutions throughout the tournament were excellent.
Yeah.
But to tell you who came on at the right time last night was Jill Scott.
Jill Scott, yeah.
What an animal.
Can we talk about when the cameras caught I think what she was saying was...
please stop doing that.
Referee, you've made a good decision, but please don't foul me. Yeah, it was along those lines anyway. It's brilliant though, isn't it?
But how amazing was it? Jill Scott's bobbed up, and she's from the northeast, isn't she? And you wouldn't want to mess. And... she's kind of gone towards this German girl and gone, yeah, you effing TW, whatever. I think, maybe.
Correct.
That was it. That German girl
didn't want to
She
be.
hot-footed it away.
Didn't want to be.
Very quickly,
I know
didn't
she did, yeah. It was class. And then obviously the goal going in, Chloe Kelly, in extra time. It was just, yeah, wow, what a moment. Like we're literally all jumping over ourselves, diving over ourselves. And then the last few moments, do you know what I'd say as well? Incredible skill for the last 5 or 6 minutes to keep the ball in the corner. I've never seen a team keep it in the corner as well as what we did for the last
for about 8 minutes.
For the last 10 minutes nearly last night. It was so good to see. Like we just bit and nous about us. You could see everybody was tired, but everybody dug in. Mary Ertz, massive shout out as well. Goalkeepers Union played a part last night. As she has done all tournament. Made some really good saves last night. Some really good decisions coming out aerially, taking balls, kicking it like a demon.
So what do you think? What do you think, Ben? Now, the next 5 years holds.
Yeah, I think what it needs to do is you need more prime time games to be on television. I want to see, so like when we have a Super Sunday, or when in the men's game we have a Super Sunday, or if there's a game on Saturday evening, or even if it's on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, everybody knows about it, don't they?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that there's going to be a game on, and I think that's what we need with the women's game now, where we want to see more of it. You want to see what's happening. And I think that's, like I say, that's the bit that will just keep building it, keep this momentum going. But for the England team, it's, what an achievement from all. They'll be waking up this morning hung over to death. I've already seen some pictures. And all the girls have just got shades on because their eyes are probably all over the shop. But yeah, fair play to them. Deserve it as well.
Yeah, and like, for obviously you've got next big one will be the World Cup.
Yeah,
and it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so like I say, now it's not. We are subjected to waiting 2 years for another Euros or another 4 years. Like, do you know what I mean? It's either Euros, but it's only the men's that we normally talk about or think about. Now we've got another one to think about, because that is part of it now. We know we've got a women's Euros or a women's World Cup coming up, and that's the beauty of it now. Every year there's going to be something, and can't wait. It's going to be absolutely banging.
Perfect. So now we're on the kind of podcast hunt, aren't we? So we're going to get a lioness or two on.
Yeah, for sure.
We maybe want to do a little bit of travel and go and see some of the lionesses abroad. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, head over to Barcelona or something. I want to see Lucy Bronze kicking it about in the new camp.
Spotify.
There you go, Spotify. Any chance of us hooking us up or what? Yeah, come on. But no, it's going to be absolutely banging. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah,
that was a dolly. Well done, mate.
I think we just wanted to. We just wanted to come and chat about it, didn't we? Even just for 25 minutes, half an hour, because we're on the way down. We're just excited, weren't we? So, fair play. Well done, the Lionesses.
Yeah, well done, the Lionesses. Just wanted to give a bit of a love to them. Top class. Really enjoyed last night. Well done, everybody. You deserve it. You deserve everything you're going to get.
And on to the World Cup now.
And on to the World Cup. Hope everybody enjoyed last night as much as we did. In the meantime, we will see you soon with some more bangers.
Up the Fozcast.
Up the Fozcast.
You nearly forgot that then.
No chance, mate. I'll never forget that, ever.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of the Fozcast. Don't forget to give us a follow on Spotify. Up the Fozcast.